Oh, well, hello, folks, and welcome to Off the Cuff Paranormal with myself, Daryl, and the guy reading the ghost hunting book with. Say hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike. I had to do it.
That was pretty good. Didn't see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming at all. That was pretty good. You even had Zach on the front. There you go.
I know, because it says ghost hunting for dummies. It's only a fitting thing that there's a dummy on the cover.
Oh.
Did I say that out loud on YouTube? Oh, I'm in trouble.
Oh, we're both in trouble. I said, I don't know this guy.
We have a divider again, so
That's right. You can tell we're in completely different zones.
wouldn't that be creepy if, like, all of a sudden a hand just appeared on your screen?
You mean like this? Oh, hang on a second. I gotta do it like, oh no, I can't. I have to. Can't do it. Forget it, folks. Forget it. All right. Well, thanks for whoever's joining us. I have a feeling one of them's Kay, and probably I don't know who the other one could be. Possibly Amy. I don't know.
No, Amy's not going to be joining us tonight. She had a prior engagement.
Oh no. Well, then I don't know who that is. Oh God, Kay's having trouble chatting again. All right. Well, Kay, you're going to have to probably get out and come back in again. I think that's what you did last time. I don't know what. She goes, yes, I can see and hear, but can't chat. Well, you're going to have to try and come out and come back in again. For those of you having trouble, I don't know why it does that on some people, but it does. You'll just have to leave us and come back. So, what is now? I guess probably that book, Mike, gave it away. I think a little bit, didn't it? As to what we're talking about this time,
without actually like showing him.
I'm just moving this up so I can actually sit back. Oh, that's actually quite comfortable. You know what I got to do though, folks? Hang on just 1 second. I got to go turn on the light, so I'll be right back.
He's left me unsupervised again. This is never a good idea.
Don't worry, I didn't leave you unsupervised for long. I think Kay disappeared again now.
Yeah, because you know what? The one watching is probably me because I'm watching beside us.
Well, that's true. You're watching yourself, Mike.
Yeah, so and it's like I was mentioning before we went live, it's a 10-second delay. So now I'm watching myself do the hand motion back and forth.
Oh, well, now you're just going to have to go on Facebook and tell the rest of those buggers to get on here. Tippity tap. Come on, people. I mean, Holly always forgets.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, right.
Computer.
Computer, please.
Oh, that'd be great if I could do that.
Call you Magic Mike.
I could go. Alexa, say hi to Daryl.
Hello.
Alexa, what's the joke of the day? Oh, you can't hear mine. It's way over there. Alexa, cancel.
Alexa, what's the joke of the day?
Why are grizzlies so light on their feet? They only carry the bare necessities.
Oh, my Lord. That was terrible. Okay, folks, there you go. I think Kate's back, but I don't think she can comment yet. On that note, though, today's conversation is, well...
I forgot my password to Facebook, so I can't tell everybody we're live.
I can, but if I flip my phone up, I'm going to lose everybody.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're talking about today, and really it kind of follows suit with what we did at the Vancouver Police Museum a few weeks back, which for those of you that don't know, and we'll find out soon enough, is we did a Paranormal 101.
We did.
So today is a discussion about the Paranormal 101. I think Kay's probably getting frustrated now because she can't comment.
That's unfortunate, Kay. I don't know why you're not able to comment. I mean, I'm on YouTube. I do have to sign in to chat, So maybe that's what it is.
I don't think so, though. Anyway, if anybody else is here and can comment, leave a comment for us. That'd be great, because I haven't blocked comments. You should be able to comment. Anyway, we were talking about Paranormal 101. So I guess to start off, folks, is, what in a nutshell is a Paranormal 101? Well, Paranormal 101
go for
is just the concept of telling everybody how we do things, why we do things, and from point A to point B of a paranormal investigation. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
I like to put it as the who, what, where, when, how, why.
who, what, where? Isn't it who, what, where, when, why, and how?
Tomato.
Tomatoes.
Kate would say tomato.
Like potato.
Yes.
But that being said, the first step of doing a Paranormal 101, Mike, over the years, what is the first step?
Well, okay, because we just did this at the VPM. This is almost like a test to make sure I was paying attention to what was being done. But I was actually like kind of dozing off. No, I wasn't dozing off. I'm kidding. Well, I mean, it's basically.
Oh, Kay can comment.
Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, good job, Kay.
All right, Kay, now go onto our Facebook page and yell at everybody.
Yeah. Right. It's, if I remember correctly, the order that you had, it was basically like the finding clients or meeting clients and stuff, right?
Well, the first part is really
First contact.
exactly it. Is how do you, like, how do clients end up coming our way, or how do we get clients? Right. So there's two, I guess, real formats. Just a minute. There's two real formats. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, my laptop's opening. To getting clients, but there's two different types of clients now, isn't there, Mike?
Well, there is. You have your residential clients. Those are people that live in their homes and think they may have someone or something joining them that they cannot see.
Yeah.
And then you have your historical. I like to lump them all into historical, but there's really, that's the other part of it. It's mostly historical. So that would be like historic sites, museums, just anything that's not residential, really.
Exactly. Anything that's not residential. 100%. So, folks, if I really light up and go all funky, it's just because I got my laptop down here. I'm not cheating. I'm trying to get into something else. But that being said, the most clients we actually do, I would have to say, in my time, most of the clients we've done have been, I would say, actually more probably historical, bigger places, not so much residential. Not that we haven't done our residentials over the years. We have, but
residentials are very, very different. It's like a whole different way of investigating. You have to take a completely different approach, right? Like
exactly.
When it comes to historical, it's not necessarily. I mean, sometimes it's they think there's someone there or something there, but with a residential, you have to have almost like a compassionate side and caring and that sort of thing, right? Like it's just a completely different approach.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, for every client, you still have to do something. So let's go back to our the first one, and that's the classical that everybody knows, and that's the one that has like the Vancouver Police Museum that we do a lot of. or any of those public places, whether it's museums or historical buildings or any places, historical railway places, whatever you want to do. Those ones are the easiest ones to contact. Really, a lot of times when we go out and make the initial contact, we're the ones who actually visit the place, go out and go, this would be really cool. Let's touch base with somebody, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And that's the easier ones to do. Sometimes it takes a long time to work it out, but that is the easier ones to do. But then those particular places probably have more research in them than your typical residential.
Yes.
Right.
Because finding the history of a historical location is fairly easy.
For the most part, not always, but for the most part, yes, you're absolutely correct. But we're jumping the gun a little bit on that, Mike. To get the client from my experience, to get the client, when you are looking at a regular place like that, it's really just about going in, seeing the place, looking into it, and getting a feel for the place and finding out if there are any stories right off the bat about the place. You don't want to go into a place that's never had a story about it, never had any history about the paranormal, and go, well, looks kind of cool, let's just do it. I mean, it does happen, but if there's no rhyme or reason to go do it, why would you? Right? So it's a part, again, of looking, is there a history to it? Sometimes there's not, but sometimes, you're the first team to go in there and actually make that history, right? To discover that history. But those are the easy ones. You check the place out, you do a little bit of legwork and footwork on it, and you find the contact. Now, guys, the best way I've ever discovered to get contacts is to talk to the people that are there, right? Talk to, whether it's somebody at the front desk, get a card, in passing, you say, hey, this is who we are. And right off the bat, you know how they respond. Well, you've seen it happen, Mike. You know how they respond. And you know right off the bat whether you're going to just ask for the card or whether you're going to take it a step farther than that.
Yeah.
Right. After that, I would think that we just, you go into the card, you find out who the guy is, where the contact is, and go from there. And then hopefully write a very well written letter. And folks, I can honestly tell you, if you ever want a really good written introduction to someplace, go to that guy.
I'm a bit of a wordsmith, just a little bit.
Is that what you call it, a wordsmith?
Yeah, someone that because you got like a blacksmith, right? He's really good at his craft, right?
On the little tablet.
Excuse me a second.
Yes, exactly.
You'll be getting this in about a week.
But that would be the one part. It's really just a well written, well formed letter, or email, whatever you're doing. It makes or breaks your contact. Right, 100%. And if you can do that and you get a response, then it's just a matter of going in later and talking to the people and finding out what the stories may be, and whether there's any interest. If they don't want to talk to you, they'll usually tell you right outright, we're not interested, go away. And I've heard it. I've heard places say, no, sorry, we're not interested.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Time to go.
Then you have the circumstance when you get no, we're already working with a team.
Well, or that, yes, that happens too. That happens a lot too.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the non-historical places, the residentials, that's a whole different cup of tea.
It really is.
it's very rare that we actually contact a residential and say, hey, we want to come in. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever done it. I
No.
mean, like, well, let's see, who am I going to call today? Roll the dice. 1604, blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's like, you're walking into, like, say you're walking around a historical neighborhood and you're looking at a house and you're like, well, that house looks haunted. Let's go knock on the door. Like, I don't know how that would go. It may go the way you hope, but it also could go completely this opposite way. We like slam the door in your face. We like, get away from me. Like,
True. I should walk in and go, hi, how you doing? By the way, who's the ghost behind you?
what do you mean? I've lived here 1,000 years. I never noticed a ghost.
See, you froze again, Mike, for a split second.
I did not. You froze.
You did. I hate to tell you, but you did. And I'm sitting 5 feet from my modem. I don't know what the heck is going on. But you only did it once so far. But it was right in the middle of your smile, so that was perfect.
What did Kay say? Usually happens when you least expect it. Chatting on Facebook and you mentioned you investigate. Yeah. That, I guess, going on Facebook is almost, I wouldn't say it's like going and knocking on someone's door, but in a way it kind of is, because it's like, maybe not. No, that's not a good analogy at all. But I get it, Kay. I get it.
Well, that's true. When you're talking to somebody and somebody says, or when we're out at an event or something, and people come up and they talk to you at the event, and then you find out, hey, I'm having something happening in my home, and you've got that connection right away, right off the bat. But I think for the most part, I would say 95% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, they call us.
Yeah.
All right. And it's word of mouth. It's reputation. As I was told today, I mean, I was speaking to today, although we found nothing, no evidence to what we were doing in any way to help this individual. It was really weird, but I mean, we just didn't. I mean, we looked and we tried and we just didn't. So, I mean, it happens where you go into a place, people are claiming things and you find absolutely nothing. And it's kind of weird because the clients are so involved that you want to actually find something, you really do. But
yeah, when they're like not sleeping and they're adamant that there's something happening or going on, and you want to help, right? But sometimes it just doesn't work out.
That's true. So a lot of times, to get back to the residential, they're usually at the point where they contact us. They've reached a point where they don't know what to do, where to go, who else to see. They contact us and say, we need some form of assistance here. Probably over 90% of the time. Residentials, those are probably the most difficult ones to do. So, in a nutshell, residentials come to us.
Yeah.
A lot of times, historically, we go to them. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's with any team pretty well right across the board.
Yeah. Because I can't remember a historical location ever coming to me and saying, "Hey," like.
Let me think. I don't. Yeah, no, not that I know of. I don't think so.
No.
I'd have to think on it, but I don't recall ever having that happen. So.
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, so now we've got, because we're working on two different clients, who out of the male and female side of the clients, who do you think, like through experience, most likely to contact us?
Well, seeing as I do remember this from the Paranormal 101 we did, I have an inside answer. It is the females, women.
That's right. But why? Right?
Oh, Kay wins too.
Yeah, Kay wins too. That's it. We're sending her the QP prize. Why though?
Well, there's multiple reasons or theories why. I mean, the biggest one is that they're more open to it, they're more sensitive. See, more sensitive. See, Kay knows what it is. Kay, are you a paranormal investigator? um, yeah, they're more sensitive than men. A lot of men kind of will shut it down. They'll try to. I wouldn't say they're more inclined to debunk, but they're just, if there's something going on, they just kind of brush it aside, like, it was nothing.
Yeah, well, it's that manly thing to do,
It really is.
right? But not always, but a lot of times. So, okay, so we get a call from, let's say, we found a client or we've gotten a client. Let's stick with the residentials for now. We get a call from a lady, and I mean, what's the very next thing that takes place?
Crying, screaming. Sorry, I couldn't help.
Mike's way too tired.
Clearly, I had not had any rest. This is just going to go off the rails. Can you repeat the question?
What happens next after the client? We've got the client. I mean, for the most part, honestly, you have to start finding out what's going on. So the point comes in time, you have to listen to the client, right?
Yeah.
You have to hear all the stories. But the
usually,
one thing,
what do we call that? Like a preliminary.
Well, okay, so this is kind of all part and parcel of the preliminary. I mean, you listen to the client stories, and that's the main thing. You really got to find out what's going on, right? What's going on? What, where, who, why, how? All those questions. And in case, right, slow them down a little bit because a lot of times they're overloaded with everything. You got to sort through the material and start saying, okay, so you're telling us this, but you've now jumped 3 weeks ahead of yourself. Let's go back and reiterate this. See, you're constantly trying to get your client to feel at ease with us as much, or whatever team you're dealing with, as much as the team feels comfortable with them, right? So you're trying to, that first step is to try and make a connection with them so you can bring them a little bit back down to reality, for themselves to communicate articulately. You know what I mean. They can communicate well, and be very articulate. That's what I was looking for, about what they're saying and what they're trying to get across the events, right?
Yeah. Basically what Kay said, be kind, let them know that we don't think they're losing it or mad. Yeah, we don't want to tell them like they're off their rocker.
But you don't want to be sitting there going,
no, I mean, I've been to my fair share of residentials as a few, and no two are alike.
No.
Because it's like, what's the best way to picture it? It's like walking into Walmart. Do you see two of the same people? Of like, one person's got a cart full of this, and this person's got no clothes on. Like, right? No, I'm not saying that happens in investigations. And the point I'm trying to make is no two people are alike. You have to understand the whole situation. You have to try to read the person, try to get a feel for them, try to, like you said, make a connection.
But at the same time, allow them to know that you feel, you're not going to look at them like they're out of their minds, right? Even though there are times you run into people that are clearly need that assessment done, because sometimes you do run into people that are probably not as stable as they should be. I mean, not everybody's perfect in this world. Sometimes, and sometimes you do have to deal with that, but it's rare. Most people just need to be calmed down and talk to. So now you've gotten them to slow down, tell you the stories, tell you the information. and whatnot, and gotten them to release probably a lot more details about their lives than what they probably even planned on doing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard for some people to open up, right? Because
It
everyone's
is.
lives are pretty personal. And if they feel like their home is being invaded by something or occupied by something that they can't explain, it's hard to tell someone about that.
Exactly. It is very hard, and harder for the males than it is the females. But you're absolutely
Oh, for
hard.
sure.
And yes, Kay, we do know that Mike freezes every once in a while.
Yeah, and if you hear weird noises, the boiler is on again because it was freezing cold this morning. So there's a weird humming sound. That's the boiler.
Oh,
It's
we
like
can't hear that. We can't hear that at all.
Okay, good. Because I sure can.
So you've gotten your client, you've gotten the story from her or him, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, what's the next thing that an investigator has to do?
Well, investigator has to. I mean, oh my god, you're putting me on the spot. You know I've had 4 hours of sleep, man.
I can't pat you on the head, Mike. The next thing an investigator has to do is do his homework to
Yeah,
find
that's
out
that's
more
why I didn't know.
information.
That's why I didn't know what it was because I never did homework.
But you have to always do a lot of homework. You got to do a lot of homework on the client, where they live, where the place is, all the factors, all the facts and stuff about the place as much as you can find, and the people. And I think I said this at a paranormal last time. I said to the crowd, and a lot of the crowd looked at me like, huh? When I said, we look at your place, where you live, all that kind of stuff, and we get as much information as we can about that place, location, where it's built, all that kind of stuff. Okay. But at the same token, we also snoop you.
Yes.
And let me tell you guys, the people in the crowd went, huh?
Yeah.
What you talking about? You snoop me. They were shocked. Literally, they were a little bit taken back when we start. I think everybody in the group, everybody just started saying, well, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, and they just bing, bing, MySpace. There's all these different places that people are on, and some of them they don't even remember being on. And the amount of information that a person puts up there
is astonishing. Just I've done a drive-by. Oh yeah, I could see you doing that too, Kay. Maybe not the true definition of a drive-by, but I get what she means.
Well, I've done that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just do a Google search on yourself. You'd be
Yeah,
surprised how much comes up. Even like you'll see posts about yourself that you didn't even know existed.
exactly. And I think that I think with the amount of information you find out about people, you have to start, you have to look carefully at who you're dealing with, right? Because sometimes the person can come across very well spoken, very nice, and all the rest of the stuff. And you look in later and you're like, oh, there's a whole side of this person I never knew existed,
Yeah.
right? Is there any time that would prevent us from doing an investigation? Plausibly. But it would take a lot. But at the same token, we have to be as careful or more careful as investigators about who we deal with and when we deal with them and how we deal with them than probably the people contacting us. Because the one thing we never want to do is put anybody in jeopardy, right? So you learn all as much of the information as you can about the people that live there, who's involved, the place, location, all that kind of stuff. So, as Kay has said in the past, research, 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 and
Research.
thank you, research.
I mean, getting in the car and doing a drive-by is not a bad thing, as long as it's not too far from your home. You don't want to be driving across the city for like an hour to try to do a drive-by. But there's a wonderful thing called Google Street View as well, and it
Yeah,
does give you a little bit of a good impression of what the neighborhood is like. I know I did an investigation once that was in a really bad part of town, and we still did the investigation, but I did not feel very safe.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I've been in
Yeah.
some pretty sketchy areas. You
I
drive
mean,
in.
it's almost like send the big 6 foot tall guy that's gonna be scaring people away, and meanwhile I'm going.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, Kay said, and I mean, for some people, they like to meet up with clients in a neutral area.
Yeah,
That's okay. We rarely do that. For us, normally, once we've met the client, we've got all the information put together that we can get together. We got everything written down. We got it all settled up, or made whatever you're working on your face or on your laptop at the time, whether you Word doc or however you want to keep track of it. And then you set up what we like to call is a preliminary, right?
that's right.
So a preliminary basically involves multiple points. So, I mean, from my point of view, the first part of the preliminary is basically you've done all the rest of it. Is setting up a time and a date that works for both you and the client, right?
Yeah.
Then you usually, the one thing, what's one of the most important things about doing any investigation or any preliminary? It is like probably the number one rule I have.
The number one rule about doing a preliminary?
Yeah. Do 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 do.
Okay, you're stumping me, but it's probably very obvious. Have a time limit?
Never do anything.
Where did that come from?
Where did what come from?
Did you?
How did you do that? No. Mike can do a thumbs up. I can't do a thumbs up.
You like this?
How the heck did you do that, Mike? Oh my God, Mike's got.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I'm so easily amused.
I can't even do a thumb up. Like, look, I can't get the thumb up. What the hell? Why can't I do that? Mike can do it. I can't reach over to Mike. I can't reach over to Mike's screen. Oh my God. Okay, so.
That was freaking awesome.
Oh God, guys, we have just discovered something drastically new about doing that. It doesn't work for me. It only works for Mike.
It shouldn't be that funny. Oh my God.
Oh my God, that was great, Mike. Jesus. Oh my God. I don't know how that's working. I don't
know either, but magic Mike.
Oh God. Okay, Mike, keep your thumbs down.
My God. I seriously, I got tears in my eyes.
He's like magic Mike.
Oh my God. I'm crying. I'm literally crying here.
Sorry, guys. We have come up. This went completely off the rail with that one.
Oh, wow. Okay, where were we before things just went sideways there?
Oh my God. Oh, what if you do that? Nope, nothing. Okay, well that's good.
What did you do down here?
So what we don't like. Tie your thumbs together, please. Tie your thumbs together.
No more.
Oh my God.
I go like this.
Oh. Oh, now he's just trying things deliberately. No, your waving does not do anything. Okay.
No, when you do it, the background goes orange. What
Oh
background
my God.
behind me goes orange? I just see fireworks.
When you do it, the background. Oh no, I don't know. It just, I see stars and everything. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I see like fireworks.
Yes. Okay, so what we were talking about before we got the fireworks was was basically you're going out to do a preliminary. You never do a preliminary alone, right? Just like you never do an investigation alone. You never, like, I mean, some people will say yes. If you're meeting at a neutral territory or a neutral place like a coffee shop, that's one thing. But if that's the chat, if you want to do a preliminary, you're not going to go alone. No matter what,
No.
you just never go. You never go alone because
Yeah.
you just never know. I mean, they do say you're going to meet 3 or 4 murderers in your lifetime as you walk around the street. So who knows where the hell you're going to end up, right?
You know,
you don't really know.
another option, Daryl, in this day and age is doing like a Zoom call or like FaceTime call.
That does work out well if you're just going to go through the talking side of things. But with our
Yes.
preliminaries, we do something different.
Yes.
Not all teams do what we do. We go out and we meet the client again. This time it's with multiple people.
Yeah.
Usually, in a smaller place, 2 to 3. In a bigger place, it might be 4 or 5. Okay, but the minimum is usually 2 to 3. And we take a video camera, a couple of recorders, and just enough equipment to basically do a really quick mini investigation. Right. So you meet the client again, and I always try to get the client and ask, excuse me, retell us all the stories, retell us everything right from the get-go, and we record it.
Yeah.
Right. If anybody asks or to ask why I do that, it's really simple. I'm looking for inconsistencies between what I've already been told and what I'm told again.
Yeah.
Right? If there's consistency across the board, then that's probably pretty legit. If there's inconsistencies, then you have to start thinking, what's going on? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm doing that, other people are actually doing a short investigation. They're checking out the place. So when you go around and you check out a place, Mike, I mean, what are some of the things you're looking for within a person's home that might allow us to learn stuff?
Oh, you're going to be looking for all kinds of just oddities, if they have them out, but you don't want to find stuff that has to do with like satanic worshiping or anything like that. If they have it out, a Ouija board, that kind of stuff. You also don't want to look to make sure you're in a dangerous environment, right? So
true.
But
so there's
yeah,
also what they
like
read.
that. Pardon me?
Also what they read.
Yes, also what they read if they were drug stuff as well. Yes. No, yeah, if they have books out
Or as Kay said, drugs.
Yeah.
So
there's all kinds of things. You kind of just, as you're talking to them, just kind of, glance around and, oh,
well, I know
beautiful crown molding you have here. Meanwhile, you're actually looking at something completely different.
But there's many things in a house that can tell you a lot about the person, right? Also a lot about the environment.
Yeah.
I mean, we were doing one thing and we really had to laugh because we were like, they had something in the home to a point, but not very much, not what they thought they did. And honestly, when we were looking out, we looked up in the window and we're like, oh, look at that. And, looking at the window, the view of the window, and there was a giant woohoo sitting in the window. So you're kind of knowing, well, you know what these people are into to a point. So it told us a little bit more than maybe we wanted to know, but it does tell you a lot about the client.
I think most investigators, not all, but most have encountered that woohoo. I know I have, and it's like, okay, and it's usually done. I didn't even notice during a preliminary because we didn't really do a preliminary for this particular investigation. But when we got there, we wanted to do like our, this is beyond the preliminary type stuff. But this is when we were deciding we're going to do an investigation. We kind of did a walkthrough of their property, and the client's like, "Yeah, go walk around. We're doing checking for high EMF and stuff, and walk into the bedroom." And you're like, "Oh, okay. We don't need to do the bedroom."
That does definitely happen. That does
Yeah.
definitely happen. I think we also, I mean, in the preliminary, we're not, like you said it, you just mentioned something right there too, EMF fields. So after looking around, you want your guys to do probably a couple of quick EVP sessions. You want to take photographs. Don't always remember at least a minimum of 1 to 2 photographs in any given spot. Try not to move during the photographs, so you have a control, and then other things to compare. And your other photographs, so you have something to compare to.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
Always run your video, because whatever you missed looking around, you can usually catch on video.
Yeah.
Right, because you can go back and forth on it. But run a couple of EVP sessions. Look for high EMF fields. Look for all the plausible things that you can actually say, well, this exists or it doesn't. This exists or it doesn't. This is there or it doesn't.
And for the uneducated, that I know right now there's only me and Kay watching, but for those that watch after, what is it? What is an EVP and what is an EMF?
EVP. I was going to say EVP. Well, there's EVP and there's AVP.
Yes.
EVP are electronic voice phenomena. So I don't have my recorder on me. But anyway, it's what you hear on the recorder after you've asked a question, but you don't necessarily hear it at the time. That's an EVP, electronic voice phenomena. Then there's AVP, which is audible voice phenomena. That's when you're actually in the room. You say, "Can you say hi?" And you actually hear a voice say, "Hi." And it's like,
also known as a disembodied voice.
or yes, or a disembodied voice. So there's audible AVP, aka disembodied voices, disembodied. And you and what else did you say? AVP, EVP.
Oh, and what an EMF is.
EMF.
Right? So when we're doing our EMF sweeps, right? Or looking for high EMF.
Electromagnetic fields. Everybody asks me every time, what exactly is an electromagnetic field? Well, you usually can't see it. Very rarely can you feel it unless it's really high. I guess to give you an example, a real basic example of electromagnetic field would be if you walk into a room and you're standing next to an electrical panel and you get kind of like exactly what Mike just did, a little bit of a shiver, that feeling like you have like hair standing up, that could be considered an electromagnetic field of some type. A static charge that you build up and you touch door handle, goes zap, that's a form of electromagnetic field.
Take a balloon and rub it on your head and then put it against the wall.
Yeah, again, it creates an electromagnetic field.
Yeah.
A magnet creates an electromagnetic field.
Plasma
Pardon me?
Plasma ball.
Plasma ball. Electricity, like I said, power boxes, microwaves, refrigerators, huge fields, but they don't necessarily emanate a long distance. Where your main power comes into your house, that's what you're looking for, is really high cases of that.
Okay. So why are we doing that?
Well, we're doing that because the electromagnetic field, in theory, it is said that these fields can actually affect people.
Yes.
Not necessarily every person is affected by an electromagnetic field, but there are a fair number of people that are. It can affect your sleep. It can affect you to the point where you're feeling sick. It might even throw up. It can give you the shakes and shivers. It can cause a lot of grief if they're high enough, and they can be downright dangerous.
I did an investigation where I was doing my EMF sweep, and the client was saying that they were having really weird dreams and seeing things beside their bed. Their alarm clock was giving off an extremely high EMF. Now, was that explanation for it? I'm not going to be like, 100% certain, but I did explain to him what you just explained, that
Yeah.
this could be the cause of it. And maybe he wants to move his alarm clock or get a new one that doesn't give
Well,
off EMF like that.
exactly. 100%. I agree. We've run into somebody else that had a very old alarm clock and the same thing. They moved the alarm clock away from their head and things eased off for them.
Yeah.
So that says it right there. And as Kay said, if you have enough devices doing that around you, you've created what they call a fear cage.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, some people are more susceptible to it than others. We found that, but it seems to be something that is consistent across the board in the paranormal field. So you're looking for all of that stuff when you do a preliminary, all of it. Because then when it comes down to actually doing an investigation, right? You've already you know what to expect, and how to better use your equipment without having to spend a lot of time rehashing that. That's the one thing that helps about the preliminary.
Mm-hmm.
But the preliminary also gives you an opportunity to do some quick sessions and to see if you get anything out of the ordinary initially off of an EVP or off your video or whatever, to say, hey, we were just there for a few minutes or an hour and we already got this, and this. Okay, that right there gives you incentive to go back and go, yeah, we got to do a lot more. But it's all about kind of finding all about more about the client and working with them while getting all this other information all at the same time, and then making a decision: is something further warranted or required?
Exactly.
In a nutshell. So you've done your preliminary, you figured everything out, you look back and go, we got to go back.
Yeah.
Right. So you set up next step.
Exactly. And the next step would be telling them they're nuts. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, you want to set up an investigation.
Correct. So you got to work with. Now, this is the tough part. The tough part is not setting up an investigation with the client. A lot of times, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
The tough part is going back to your team and saying, who wants to do an investigation on this day?
Yeah, and you're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy for the next 6 Saturdays. What are you doing? I'm mowing my cat. I don't even have a cat.
By the fourth investigation, that cat's bald.
No, you're absolutely right, though. It's a challenge when you have a team and you have to coordinate with everybody.
That's right.
You need a minimum 2 people, but 3 is obviously better.
Yeah.
So
Prefer 3 or 4
or 4.
on a standard house investigation. A small condo, you might get away with 3, but I always try to aim for 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just so you have multiple sets of eyes. You have very different people that can ask various different questions. Not everybody thinks along the same line. And you do your investigation. Now, investigations can range from anywhere from
well, I mean, depending what you walk into, it could end in 5 minutes, but usually you want to put in like I'd say like hour and a half, 2 hours is minimum, and then go from there. Maybe 3 hours.
Yeah,
That's pushing.
my average investigation on a full house would be about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Right. On a condo or a smaller house, you might only have to do 2 or 3 to cover the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Easy. You do a basement suite, you do it in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You're gone. I mean, it's that simple sometimes. Sometimes you get a lot of stuff and you stick around going, oh, this is you don't want to leave because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Other times it's just like it is. You just want to fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
It's
Especially
that
if it's really
boring.
hot.
Pardon me?
Especially if it's really hot.
Yes.
Some people keep their homes like stifling hot, and you walk in and you're like, I want to leave now.
that is so true. You're like, Can we turn down the heat, please? Oh,
Yeah,
it's
can I
cold.
can I have a glass of water? Can we open a window?
Yeah, like all of them. But yes,
Almost.
we have had that done too.
Yeah.
But yes, you spend. You have to really look at where you are and figure out how much time you're going to spend and how best to use that equipment that you're bringing in. And the preliminary also helps you kind of go, okay, is if I bring in, because a lot of people have so many pieces of equipment, you can actually judge from the parent or from the preliminary as to whether you want to bring back certain pieces. There's certain things that go, well, this is just not going to work well here. It's too small. This won't work well here. That's too small, but this could work great here. Let's bring this one in.
Yeah.
So it helps you decide really what you're going to bring and what you're going to do and the best advantageous locations to get the best video of the areas that you have to do. So the preliminary goes a long way to helping you set up for that investigation. And when you go back, you have things already ready to go. Keiko's also in residentials. It's sometimes hard to get clients to leave or if
Well,
the pets stay.
these are things that are out of your control, though, right? I mean, when you think about it, the average person doesn't want, even though we have no ill intention, the average person is going to be really hesitant in having people come into their home and say, "Here's the keys," or "I'm leaving, whatever. Have fun with that couple hours."
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
But I also think that, like, I mean, the odd client leaves, and I actually rather have the client there.
Yeah.
What irritates me during an investigation, or even a preliminary for that matter, is if you go into it and the guys sitting there going, "Well, listen, I've got four of my friends, and they'd love to come over and be a part of this investigation," and you go, "No."
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, and literally, there's been places I've gone, people go, "Oh yeah, I just want to bring over like six friends, and they want to sit. They'll be really quiet." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, if that's what you want, we're not doing this investigation. Bye bye."
Yeah.
And I've walked away from it. I've done it
Yeah.
before, and I'll do it again. We're here to help. We're not here to be a show.
Exactly. We're not looking for thrill seekers.
Yeah. So if that ever happens, and you go into a place and that ever happens, just turn around and say, "No, they either leave or we do." It's that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you want help, we're willing to help you. You want your friends here, bye.
Yeah.
Right? We're not here to entertain them, right?
No. Exactly.
Which, amazingly enough, some people think we're entertainers. I mean, we do events, we're entertainers, but I mean, that's an event.
It's not our first go to. I mean,
That's
we want to make our show that we do here entertaining as well. But again, it's not something that we strive to do. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I digress.
like the old thumbs up, Mike.
Oh,
Oh.
I got rid of it.
What happens if you do that? No,
No.
nothing. Just no, nothing. We can't do all the fingers, folks. Sorry.
I mean,
No, 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 no. So you've set up for the investigation. You do the investigation. The investigation basically consists of, and for anybody that doesn't know, we ask a lot of questions. We take a lot of pictures. We take a lot of video. We do ghost. Yes, we are one of the groups that do use the spirit box, but we use it as sparingly as possible. I mean, really, if I run a ghost box more than like 5 or 6 minutes, I'm like, okay, I try to catch it. Sometimes I miss it, but it's like, oh, that's a little too long. So, I mean, it's controversial, just like the Connect is controversial, just like a few other things are controversial. But
and we could do another show on all of our equipment.
which we'll have to get some of those things again and try it all again. But you use what you have to the best of your ability to try and get evidence of what they are claiming is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
right? Find out.
Yeah, it can be a challenge, if a client says, things only happen at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, well, that would take a unique investigation, but it's possible, but not likely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, things don't usually just happen at the witching hour.
I just happened to pick that time.
I know, but but it's true. I mean, things just don't happen. I mean, people say it happens right at this time every day. Well, if you have paranormal activity, it's going to happen whether it happens at night or whether it happens today. It's still going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, some things in theory can hide, and maybe they do come out at a particular time, but I haven't really found that to be the case. They're either there or they're not.
Well, and as we've discussed on our show before, time is just a man-made concept. It's actually, there is no time.
That's
So
true.
if it's 4:30 or 4:44, just to stick with our signs theme from 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Go and change the time on your microwave to that time and see if something happens.
So we've got all that, and you do your investigation, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. You do your investigation, you finish your investigation, you thank the client a lot and tell them, say, listen, we'll review the investigation and get back.
Yeah.
Now, folks, because time has really flown tonight, it is actually 8:58, believe it or not. So the next show in 2 weeks, we are going to talk about review. So we have reached the point where we're going to be doing the review of evidence. Now, I will have some examples put together for you, both audio and video, just to show you that. And you'll be able to see some of these reviews to a point, and kind of what we find and what we're looking for. And we are going to be discussing a couple concepts. First of all, some formats on how to do review, right? So formats, how to, once you've reviewed, how to determine what goes back to the client. Now, we're not, every group does it differently. We'll be discussing how we do it, how other people have done it in the past, how some others do it. We'll just be telling you what works best for us. We're going to do all that, and tell you how we come to the conclusion of what goes back to the client, if anything at all. And that's coming up in 2 weeks.
And you know what? Doing review is not glamorous. It's not really a lot of fun, but we will make it fun.
Well, we'll try. We'll be sitting there like this, going, and be like, I'm doing a review. But I'll have headphones on, and I'll be sitting there, and yeah. But it is a lot. So, folks, come on back. If you didn't stay through this show, come on back next week for On or Off Cuff, 8 to 9 p.m. Every second weekend, and we'll be talking about reviews and showing you evidence of those reviews. Okay? As Kay said, glazed eyes, and Mike will have more sleep, and hopefully we'll all be wide awake to do this all again. Until then, folks, on behalf of myself, Daryl, and
Magic Mike.
oh God, now we have Magic Mike and Mr. Magic Mike. Thank you for joining Off the Cuff, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys, and good night.
Good night, everybody.